Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We're live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you can see and hear me clearly, please drop a one in the live chat, and then we can get today's stream started. As I'm waiting for the ones to come in, if you haven't already, as usual, please make sure you hit the like button, because why? That is the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that it helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get their notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Second, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you're one of those ghost watchers who haven't subscribed yet but you keep watching my videos, please hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button, so you can be notified whenever I release a new video and you don't have to ghost watch anymore. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms as well, to your family and friends, to inform them on this news and information. And that also helps to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. So do me a favor with that. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's video. Let's get into the stream. I see the ones are coming in, so we can get started. So I don't know if you all knew this already. I don't know if any of you all knew this already, but the Beast is headed to Texas. Yeah, the Beast is on its way to Texas, and then technically it's not headed straight to Texas. The Beast is a train that illegal immigrants ride on. A lot of them ride on, and it travels in between cities in Mexico. And the most popular stop where everyone gets off at is, I believe it's Juarez, and they get off at Juarez, and from Juarez they head to the U.S. border. They like to head to El Paso. That used to be the popular destination, but as quiet as it's kept, it is something that we've talked about before. Operation Lone Star has actually been a quiet success, and I always say it's a quiet success because you don't hear about that often. You don't hear about it at all if you're getting your news from like CNN and MSNBC and whatnot, but it has been a quiet success, to which the migrant influx has shifted over to areas in Arizona and San Diego, California. But in El Paso, Texas, they are expecting a large influx of mostly men, not families, to head towards El Paso, coming off of this train known as the Beast very soon. And because of that, the Texas authorities have been told that they're allowed to go full force. They're allowed to go full force. Now, in the midst of preparing for this huge surge to come in, to which, I believe some folks have come already, but they are expecting a larger surge. They're laying down razor wire as normal, which is what they always do. I want to play this quick Fox News clip just so we can get a look at the type of razor wire that they're laying down now. It looks like it's a bit better, we'll say, than the razor wire fencing that was laid down when Biden's migrants broke through it and started beating up on the Border Patrol, or beating up on the Texas National Guard a few months ago, or I believe it was a month ago. So let's just take a look at this right now, because it looks like it's a little bit better, and maybe it'll help, maybe not. But I guess they also state too in this video, as quiet as it's kept, it is rather useful. It is rather useful. So let's get into this very quickly before we get into the actual article.
Good evening, Brett. Right now, we're just steps away from what's referred to as the border wall here in El Paso. And as you could see right now, Texas is installing miles and miles of additional wire fencing here. And then in front of that fencing on the Mexican...
I'm not going to lie, that fencing looks pretty, it looks pretty deep. It looks pretty deep. It's hard to see, especially with my logo in the way, right? Now, some of you hate that, but it is what it is. After the stream ends, all the links will be in the description box below. I have it posted so you can see the stuff without my commentary if the logo's bothering you, but get used to it. But yeah, the wiring looks pretty on point. It looks pretty on point because it's not just fencing that's just going straight, along the wall, but the razor wire goes for a couple of rows. It goes a couple of rows forward before you even get to the actual border wall. So, it looks pretty solid. I'll play the rest of this video out and then we'll get into the article.
The Mexican side is row after row of additional wire fencing here, and then in front of that fencing on the Mexican side is row after row of wire. So now, in order for a migrant to try to even approach our border wall, they'd have to first try to get through all of that additional concertina wire.
1, 2, 3, go!
Texas is now replicating its controversial yet effective razor wall from Eagle Pass in El Paso, the site of this violent migrant stampede on March 21st.
I don't think that was the same razor wire that those guys broke through when they started beating up on everybody. I don't think that was the same style because you don't see, it doesn't appear that it went for rows and rows. So I don't think that's the same style.
Migrant stampede on March 21st. Texas says soldiers had to clear a separate migrant surge in order to construct the new fencing. All part of Governor Abbott's ongoing statewide effort to stop illegal immigration.
Shout out to Saul, man. Saul said, you know, I'm the Greg Abbott defender over here. That's just, you know, that wasn't the plan. You know, I didn't expect that would become me eventually on this channel. But yeah, I'm pretty much the Greg Abbott defender. Saul said, I bet you're going to defend Abbott again. Here it goes. Somebody is sending you a Texas flag and a hat right now. That Texas flag, I'm telling you, somebody sends me the Texas flag, I'll put it behind me and I'll rock the hat as well. And you know I'm lying because I keep saying if somebody sends it to me, but you know I'm not giving you guys the address, right? So but if you can find my address, if some way somehow someone is able to find the address to my office and they get the Texas flag to me, I actually would put it up behind me because that would be impressive and scary at the same time. And shout out to Saul again coming through. He said, the way I see it, Abbott is doing the best for his Texas residents, while Illinois, Colorado, New York, and California have failed their own. I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. Those states are failing their own, and they don't care. They don't care at all. Texas is doing actually the right thing by its residents by attempting to protect its border, despite the fact that Biden stands in the way of that at every point. And like I said, even though Biden has stood in the way at every point, Abbott has found success with this. He has found a lot of success with this. And shout out to Rob as well, coming through Black Light Revelation. He said the United States should sanction Mexico and countries with the top 5 amount of illegals. That's not a bad idea. The reason that we didn't have a migrant crisis during the Trump administration, and I don't know the details of this, but outside of the fact that, you know, you'd kind of just get tossed out of here if you cross the border illegally, that Title 42, basically it forced Mexico to keep the illegal immigrants in their country. It forced them to keep them there. And the way that that Trump was able to make Mexico do that, forced them to keep illegal immigrants in their country, was essentially by threatening them with sanctions. In a nutshell, you know, obviously there's more detail to it than that. It's not as simplistic as that, but that's the most simplistic way to answer that and to state that. He basically said, I'm going to destroy your economy if you let these illegals cross over here. And if you don't hold on to them when we give them to you, I'm going to wreck your economy. And they did not want to call Trump's bluff on that. So they kept illegal immigrants until Biden got into office, and then they unleashed them. And we're actually going to get into a little bit of that once we hop into this article right now by the New York Post, because I did want to elaborate on that point that I'm making now just a little bit more, you know, not too much, but just a little bit more. So let's hop into that article right now since we're discussing that, right? This article here is from the New York Post, and it's titled, Texas authorities armed with thousands of pepperballs instructed to go full force against migrants arriving by the beast train to El Paso border. Let's jump into this. There are 243 of you in the stream right now. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. That is extremely important to the growth of this channel. And let's dive into this article right now. Hundreds of migrants have started arriving daily at the border just south of El Paso via an overloaded freight train on a line nicknamed the Beast, after the Mexican government stopped cracking down on people hitching rides. I want to repeat that again. Hundreds of migrants have started arriving daily at the border just south of El Paso via overloaded freight trains on a line nicknamed the Beast, after the Mexican government stopped cracking down on people hitching rides. A lot of people don't understand, for as much as all of this is Biden's fault, which it is, because he got rid of all the Trump era immigration laws, right? And border control laws. Outside of that, Biden is weak. And the president of Mexico knows that he's weak. And what you're reading here that I have there in blue, it says after the Mexican government stopped cracking down on people hitching rides, it's up to the Mexican government to get those folks off the train. Because like I said, that train called the Beast, it traveled within Mexico. And I believe it's not the last stop, but the popular stop where everybody gets off at is Juarez and then heads to El Paso or maybe San Diego if they're going to keep walking and do their thing from there, right? But it's up to the Mexican government to stop that. We can't do anything about that over here. They have to stop it, but they're choosing not to, because now that Trump isn't in office and he's not threatening sanctions on them, and you have somebody weak like Biden, they're just saying, hey, if you guys want to, head over to the United States, go ahead. You want to hop on those trains, go ahead. We're not going to stop you. And as a matter of fact, if the U.S. wants us to stop them, how many of you will remember, because I covered this, Mexico essentially said you have to give us, I believe it was $20 billion a year. Somebody remind me in the live chat. Is that what he asked for? The president of Mexico asked for, I believe it was $20 billion a year. And he wanted that $20 billion broken up in between multiple Latin American countries, right? To help them with root causes of illegal immigration, right? Wink, wink. We all know that that's not where the money would go to. And he also demanded that if you want Mexico to play ball and help and assist the U.S. Slow down this influx outside of the $20 billion a year, if I'm not mistaken, it's $20 billion a year, you need to provide federal workers permits. I think he said for all illegal immigrant Mexicans in the United States. And I said, I think, because he asked for that, but if I'm not mistaken, he specifically said for Mexican illegal immigrants, not for anybody else, right? But for Mexican illegal immigrants. He's very specific and clear on that. And he said if his demands aren't being met, well, then, hey, I guess you're going to have this problem on your hand. So a large part of this, outside of, once again, it being all Biden's fault, which it is, it's really kind of a 75. Honestly, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. Realistically, it's all Biden's fault. But if Mexico is still doing what it was supposed to do, to be quite honest with you, there wouldn't be a migrant crisis either if Mexico would actually secure its own borders and stop people from getting on trains like the Beast. But let's carry on, right? Let's keep going. In response to an expected spike in illegal crossing attempts, Texas National Guard soldiers have been issued non-lethal pepperball ammo to deter would-be border crossers from attempting to sneak over in the fortified areas around points of entry, a National Guard source told the Post. The soldiers have been armed with thousands of pepper balls, and the source adds, it's on like Donkey Kong right now. I haven't heard that in a long time. I've heard that since I was a kid. Apparently, the soldier added, it's on like Donkey Kong right now, pointing out more troops who are also being called in as reinforcements. I want to take a moment to pause because I see Mr. J said non-lethal, right? I caught that in the live chat, Mr. J. You said non-lethal? Question mark? That's perfect timing. Perfect timing. Because I want to pull this video up for you. I mean, the reality is this. Yeah, Jay the informant, it's on like Donkey Kong, he said. It's on like Funky Kong. Here's the thing with non-lethal, right? I mean, obviously they're not gonna just mow people down. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. We all know that's not gonna happen. But when it comes to pepper balls, those are no joke. Those are actually no joke. It hurts a lot. It leaves a mark on you, and it's still a form of pepper spray that'll put you down, right? So if you're not somebody who's accustomed to, being hit with these kind of things, which the average person isn't, it'll back you up. it'll back you up real quick. You're not going to proceed forward. I want to play this video clip for you guys very quickly of somebody actually getting hit with a pepper ball, right? That's been fired out of a pepper ball gun. So let me pull this up for you right now, and I want to play this for you so you can see how this actually works. Okay, now you're not going to actually, I'm not going to show the actual gun, right? I'm not going to show it for YouTube reasons. I'm sure YouTube will still find a reason to play me on this video just for showing this, but it is what it is. You know, it's worth getting information out there, kind of. Let me play this for you right now because I want you to see like the pepper ball. That's actually no joke. It's actually no joke.
All right, guys. So we got round 2 with the OC gas. All right. Oh.
Step right in.
Oh.
Step right in.
Let me tell you guys something. If I get hit with that, I'm dropping to the ground. I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm crying. Okay? It's no joke. Let me let the rest of this play.
To the mist. Looks like a heart shot to me, folks.
Right there. Right in the sternum. Oh. And that's the pepper round.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to miss one.
Yeah.
You see, that joint hurts. And, you know, I'm laughing, but I'm not one to laugh because I'm telling you, if I would have got hit with that, I would have been on the ground, rolling around, crying, holding my chest, telling my wife to call 911, the whole nine. Like, I'm not going to lie. You know, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, they're no joke. Right? It's no joke. It's no joke. You get hit with one of those things and you're not accustomed to being hit with that, which, like I said, the average person isn't. It'll back you up. It'll back you up while you're coughing your lungs out at the same time, you know, and you see the mark that it put on his chest. So yeah, non-lethal. Yeah, it's non-lethal. Obviously, you know, they're not going to just start laying people out at the border. That's just not going to happen. But the pepper ball gun should do the trick, you know, especially if they're going full force like they said they are and just unloading, you know what I mean? But you know, we'll see how that works out. Shout out to Untried Genius for coming through. Untried Genius, what's going on, bro? He said it's wild Biden tried to stop Texas from actually enforcing the borders. If that doesn't show his intent, nothing does. It clearly shows Biden's intent and that this is all deliberate. It's all deliberate because why would you be trying to stop if this was a real actual crisis where this was happening for reasons that were unknown that we couldn't understand, and at the same time Congress was struggling to put a bill together, but this is a genuine situation that we're scratching our head about, saying why is this happening, then Biden or any other president, they would not be stopping Greg Abbott from doing what he's doing, you know. But the fact that Biden continuously stands in the way of Abbott, like you said, Untried, it shows his intent. It shows his intent 1000%. Now let's jump back into this article and hit the like button if you haven't already. The first train arrived Wednesday in Juarez, directly south of El Paso, with hundreds of migrants offloading, according to the border report. Migrants seeking asylum are supposed to wait until they have an appointment with the Department of Homeland Security to enter the country through the CBP1 app and then present themselves to border officers. So as you can see, even currently at this moment in time, and obviously there always has been, right? But at this moment in time with the CBP1 app that we've been hearing a lot about since Biden has been in office, there is a legal method for them to come in if they just wanted to come in, right? They would just download the CBP1 app, you know, fill out the application on there and just wait at the border. Just stay at the border, stand there and chill out, until we call you in. But that's not what's going on. And I believe this sentence that I have highlighted in blue elaborates on that, right? Because it states, however, in practice, the Biden administration doesn't enforce this rule and treats those who surrender themselves at points of entry the same, to which he's not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to treat them the same. Those who surrender themselves at port of entry are supposed to get tossed back immediately if this is being done properly. Download the app, fill out the application, stay in Mexico, and wait in line. And those of you who cross the border illegally, you're getting tossed quickly the same day. But that's not what's happening at all whatsoever. Migrants refer to the trains that bring them to the border as La Bestia. It's Spanish. I don't know Spanish, right? I'll read that again. Migrants refer to the trains that bring them to the border as La Bestia, which translates as the beast, because it is known as a death train because of the risk of death and loss of limbs associated with clinging onto the sides of riding its roof for the dangerous trek between Cholula and Juarez. And no, it doesn't say Cholula. I don't know how to read whatever that city's name is. It's Chihuahua. I don't know how to say that, so it's Cholula for now. But another thing that I want to highlight too, given that this is the death train, also known as the beast, this is a train that's largely, almost exclusively ridden by men. There are no women and children on this train. There are no families on this train. And I always have to make sure to point and highlight that fact that it's mainly men that are coming in here, military age men, as many of us like to say, right? That are coming in on these trains storming the border. Texas began arming soldiers and state troopers deployed to the border in El Paso with pepperball guns and other tools to break up large groups after hundreds of migrants stormed the area at a crossing known as Gate 36, a storm gate, which is not a point of entry, on March 21st, which was caught on camera by the Post. Now, get this. Look at this right here, though. Look at this right here. This is unbelievable, right? Check this out, because there was another situation that happened recently that I didn't know about. But what I also didn't know about as well, going back to that situation, when was that? March 21st, that famous situation that you see here in the photo here. Remember, everybody stormed the border. They started beating up on the National Guard, so on and so forth. What I didn't know was this. Texas National Guard members later confiscated knives and shanks from members of the group. At least one migrant also tried to grab a soldier's firearm during the chaotic situation. Now, I do remember that. I do remember hearing that one of the illegal immigrants actually tried to grab a soldier's gun. But what I didn't know is that after arresting everybody and taking them away, that they confiscated multiple knives and shanks. So I mean, there that goes. They're crossing the border with weapons. They're attempting to cross the border with weapons. Now, you can say it's for self-defense and la, 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 la. I'm not really trying to hear all that, man, especially when, a situation pops off and you got a guy that's trying to grab somebody's gun. I'm not going for that. But here is what I wanted to highlight. Or here's what I wanted to highlight right here that I have marked in purple, because I didn't know about this. And this happened April 12th. What is that, like 2 weeks ago, something like that, or a week and a half ago? It states here, another clash broke out April 12th at the El Paso border, resulting in the incident. Oh my God. Okay. Just give me a second, please. I'm still drinking on Merino tears, in case you didn't know. All right. Another clash broke out April 12th at the El Paso border, resulting in the indictments of 140 migrants, according to Fox 14. I had no idea about this. I didn't know about this at all on April 12th. But if this isn't putting out the welcoming mat for illegal immigrants to continue to come into the country and to continue to be aggressive when they get to the border, I don't know what else does. So mind you, this is another situation that happened April 12th, where an incident occurred at the border, a little riot, right? A little tussling between Biden's migrants, illegal immigrants, and the National Guard. And this is how it all ended. El Paso judge drops state charges for 140 migrants accused of rioting. That's how that went. That's how the most recent situation went. They dropped the charges on all 140 migrants. Rioting charge, tussling with National Guard, tearing up property, breaking down fences. They got charged accordingly, and the judge just dropped them, dropped all the charges. Let's check this out. An El Paso judge decided to drop state charges for 140 migrants accused of riot participation while allegedly crossing the border illegally. He said allegedly crossing the border illegally. How do you allegedly cross the border illegally? That's ridiculous. Got to be a Democrat that wrote this. Has to be. On Monday, Judge Ruben Morales ruled to drop any state charges against a group of migrants accused of cutting razor wire, pushing through government fencing, rioting, and crossing the border illegally. The 142 migrants were given a misdemeanor Class B charge by the state of Texas for riot participation from April 12th. So all they got was a very light Class B misdemeanor charge of rioting. And this judge right here, Ruben Morales, dropped the charges. And yes, he too is a Democrat, right? He too is a Democrat. Once again, if that's not leaving the welcome mat on the ground and leaving the gate wide open with a big sign that says, "Come on in." And if you want to punch a couple of National Guardsmen in the face, go ahead and do it. I don't know what else does, man. I don't know what else does. Additionally, and this is something interesting as well, because Biden is starting, he's starting wars between cartel members now. I mean, obviously, cartel members in Mexico have always been warring against one another. But the smuggling business is booming. These guys are making hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's not an understatement. That actually might be an understatement, because I think I read something somewhere where they were saying the cartel has made a couple $1 billion doing this. They're making a lot of money. They're making a lot of money. But I'm going to read this here in closing. Additionally, cartels have been battling for smuggling routes between Cholula City. It's not Cholula, but between Cholula City and Juarez. Last week, the bodies of 8 men slaughtered by a gang were discovered dumped along the side of a popular migrant road route. So what's happening now is that we have these on the Mexico side, fortunately, right? Keep that stuff over there. But on the Mexico side, we have an escalation in cartel wars popping off, not just simply over drug territory, but now over smuggling routes. And recently, 8 bodies were found, slaughtered by a gang, most likely from a rival cartel gang who imposed on the smuggling route that the other gang, I guess they figured, was their territory. So this is the stuff that Biden has going on here too. So while we have this mess that's happening here in the country, his actions are also leading into agitating situations between rival cartel gangs, even more so than they already were. Because like I said, the smuggling business over there they are making hundreds of millions of dollars. And I once again, I think that's being very conservative when I say that. I think I'm being very conservative when I say that. And one thing that I'm also going to say is that does it for today's stream. That does it for today's stream. I gave you guys all the information that you need for today. Okay. All the information that you need for today. The beast is coming, but Greg Abbott has it under control for the most part. They have instructions to apply full force with the pepperball guns, which we saw earlier, are no joke. They are no joke. I know a lot of people think to themselves, like, just why don't you go lethal? We know that's not happening. That's just not going to happen. They're not going to slaughter a bunch of folks at the border. But like we saw earlier, you know, if you missed it, maybe if you're coming into the stream late, yeah, those pepperball, getting hit with the pepperball guns are no joke. It's no joke at all. So as we close this out, I want to thank you all for joining me today. There are 413 of you on the stream right now. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. And I just want to give my last thank yous for those of you who supported the channel and supported the stream today. I appreciate you all. I don't exist without you guys' support, so I truly thank you. Black Trucker Mafia Radio. Man, that sounded hard. Black Trucker Mafia Radio. Black Trucker Mafia Radio said, the strategy is going as planned. Thousands of layoffs at Tyson and Whirlpool, and a cheaper workforce ready and waiting. I 100% agree with you, Black Trucker Mafia Radio. You also went on to say, look for a massive push for citizenship in the next couple of months from the Biden administration leading up to November. I think you're correct on that too. I think you're correct on that too. I don't see a push for citizenship coming per se, but the rhetoric behind fast track to citizenship, if not the rhetoric behind just the mass amnesty bill, that's. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. The closer we get to November, the more and more he's going to start dangling in the air like some sort of mass amnesty bill, where if you vote me in, I'll just sign some sort of executive order or whatever that'll just give everybody amnesty, if you came in here. I wouldn't be surprised with that at all. Shout out to Tom Slick. Tom Slick said, yep, that will do it. Couple pops of the what will make a stand. Yup, that will do it. Couple pops of that will make a stand. You're talking about the pepper balls. Yeah, you get hit with that a couple times, you'll back down real quick. You get hit once, you're gonna back down real quick. Oh, Chihuahua. It's Chihuahua, like the dog. Oh, Chihuahua City. Okay, Chihuahua. Okay, it's Chihuahua. It's not Cholula. It's not Chihuahua. It's Chihuahua City. Okay. I appreciate you, Saul. It's Chihuahua City. That's a funny name, Chihuahua City. And thank you to Jerry Early with the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. He said, thank you, TD Media Group, listening from Big Island, Hawaii. Enjoy yourself in Hawaii, man. Enjoy yourself over there. And I thank you for always tuning in, Jerry Early, and always showing me support, as well as all of you for always tuning in and showing me support as well. So once again, that does it for today's stream. Hit the like button on your way out. Follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link is in the description box below. I have it pinned in the comment section. Once the stream is over, everything that appeared on your screen today, I'll make sure to have it listed in the description box below. All the links once the stream is over as well. I'll get to it as soon as possible. Share this video out on social media platforms. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Stop ghost watching. All the ghost watchers out there, I know you're ghost watching me right now. Just hit that subscribe button, man. I know you mess with me. Just hit the subscribe button and the bell notification next to the subscribe button. And I'll catch you guys later. Have a great evening and a safe one. Peace.